Welcome to How the World Works. After researching a lot in the last few years, no more got the COVID crap, but it gave me insight in how the world works. So, yeah, for you too. So, one way is easy. You have a normal life,
Normal Western.
normal Western life. You do well at school, you get good at something, you dedicate yourself to something, you get a job, you get money,
Easy.
easy. If you really get somewhere, say at a big pharmaceutical company, what happens then? Well, imagine that you're a researcher at a big pharmaceutical company. Your the contents of your work are good, and at some point you realize that a
New drug.
a new drug that you have been working on has does actually have some long-term serious side effects. You bring it up to your superior, and as you should do, and your superior says like, "Good work, but you know what? We actually got approval for this drug already. We got a patent, and it's going to deliver billions in the next couple of years." What do you do then? Um, you have choices, right? Are you
If you
gonna?
have enough money.
Well, true. It's all relative to your position, right? Um, are you gonna say like, hey, we got to be honest about this, and I'm gonna be whistleblower? Are you gonna quit your job, or are you gonna go um, tell your superior like, hey, we shouldn't do this? On the individual level, um, the morals come into play. The, the pharmaceutical company itself is just about making money. Um, but yeah, this is the problem that you're faced with if things get, let's say, important enough or involve enough money. Um, to put it in a bigger perspective, take the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) in the U.S. and Fauci and the whole vaccination push there. So it should work if the FDA is a independent controlling agency, basically. But how it worked in practice now, proof of that is in the last couple of years, is that there's billions of money being made with the vaccines. You got a figurehead like Fauci, who is lying all the time, basically, like masks work, masks don't work. Natural immunity is important, natural immunity is not important. Everybody needs to get vaccinated.
Yeah. Anyone with a brain can figure out that he's
That's right, yeah.
a little bit inconsistent.
Quite inconsistent, to say the least. Yeah. So you got a figurehead there, and the FDA is not independent, basically. So systems like these uh, dominate, I would say, more and more. Because I think a couple of decades ago, governments used to be quite okay in the West, but not so much anymore. And
then again, you want to wait then.
That's right, yeah. But I mean, we get concrete evidence that with swine flu in 1976, remember how many adverse events there were, roughly?
120,000?
Yeah, so one adverse events per, let's say, 100,000.
Okay.
That was already too much in 1976 to take the vaccination off the market, even though millions of people in the US were vaccinated with that vaccine already. It was taken off the market. 1 in 100,000 was too much already. Now, the COVID vaccination from Pfizer is roughly
1 in 1,000?
1 in 1,000, roughly, adverse events. So, and that's pushed, and it's supposed to be safe. That's what they're saying, and that's what they say themselves, and that's what people like Fauci blindly, and he's not the only one, blindly followed. So you got to realize that it's roughly 100 times more dangerous than a vaccine that has been taken off the market because it's too dangerous. So, question is, why is it worse now than it used to be? Well, it seems to be revolving around the control of people. Um, don't you think that every government solution, if you looked at the issues of the last couple of years, don't you think that every government solution that is proposed is about control of the people? COVID is as deadly as the flu, and we get forced vaccinations. The climate has changed since the beginning of time.
200-day lockdowns.
Yeah, that's right. And we are supposed to be in a crisis, and we need 15-minute cities. Digital currencies, which can be turned off anytime.
Not yet, right?
Not yet, but it's definitely being pushed. Or the IDs are coined, just like the vaccinations before. Like, oh, we'll have the vaccinations available, but it's up to you to choose them. And later on, there's the mandates. So I'm concerned that with digital currencies, it's just
A few steps away.
a few steps away, basically. That ID is coined, and sooner or later will be mandatory.
Sounds pretty 1984.
That's right, very much so.
I'm just saying, they said 1984, 40 years' time, the world would be like that.
That's right.
It's made a pretty damn good prediction.
That's right, yeah. Well, the book was written in the 1950s, I believe.
I know, but like, it's based. I don't know. Well,
yeah, it's based for like,
in the future.
In the future, yeah.
From when this is whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. But yeah, the question is then, why do people need to be controlled, and who controls them? Let's brainstorm a bit about super rich families that I think are crucial here. So I'm talking
like how rich exactly?
Well, the richest families in the world that have like billions of dollars. Let's say the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds and Morgans, families like that. If you would have $100,000 in your bank account, you'd be pretty happy, I think, right?
Right now.
Right now. Yeah. And if you would have $1 million, you would be able to do things that not many people can do in their lives, right? Right. So imagine really if you're born into a super rich family and you get to a working age, and at some point you earn $1 million. They'll be laughing at you because like they got billions already, and like whether you make $1 million or not, it really doesn't matter. So the money is not even though they have a lot of money, like the day-to-day spending, what they can achieve with, let's say, normal hard work, is completely irrelevant for them. But what is relevant for them, though? Can you think of something that all the rich families would have in common?
Well, based on history, anything but a revolution?
Exactly. No revolution. That's the main thing for all the big families. No matter what business they're in, what religion they are, where they're located in the world, all the rich families want to avoid a revolution, like a Russian revolution or French revolution, whatever revolution is targeted at the people that are in power and have a lot of money.
Or resources.
Or the resources, yeah. And how do you achieve that, getting no revolution? It's simple. Distract people with political divide, for example. As long as people pay their taxes, pay their 40% taxes, and worry about political leaders or gender equality,
what sports team is winning,
racism. As long as you worry about that, the super rich families are laughing. By now, if people would listen to this, most people would have replied to us saying, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I would tell them, you do actually believe in conspiracy theories.
If you take conspiracy theory literally.
Exactly. Like 9/11, right?
Like a theory that has been conspired.
Where people conspired. Yeah.
Yes.
In 9/11, two airplanes flying into the Twin Tower. Was it a coincidence? If you say no, then it is a conspiracy, right?
If it was only one, sure, might have been a crackhead and the plane was just like,
that's right.
Good target.
Yeah. But at least two people, definitely seem to have conspired. And then people that accuse you of being conspiracy theorists would change the definition, saying like, yeah, but the government conspiring against their own people. That's don't believe in that. I would still say, sorry, I bet you do believe it if you look at Northwoods. Northwoods is in the show notes. If you do know what Northwoods is, you can skip the next minute or something. If you
good on you, basically.
Yeah, good on you. That's right. If you don't know what Northwoods is, basically, in 1962, when John F. Kennedy was president of the U.S. still, the highest military power, the Joint Chief of Staff,
yep.
Brought forward a proposal
to JFK.
To JFK that he would have to ratify, and it says literally pretext to justify a U.S. intervention in Cuba.
Actually, if you look at the file real quick, I'm just trying to find exactly where it is. Oh, it's not on here anymore.
It's right here. Let me get it. Yep.
On page 11, about halfway through. Oh, that's actually page 8. Oh yeah, page 11 here. So page 8 of Northwoods.
Yep.
Then it says.
Point 3.
Yeah, point 3A. We could blow up a US ship in Guantanamo Bay and blame Cuba. That sounds like something a 2-year-old could have made up. Year 2, sorry.
Yeah. So, and on page 10, on point 8, it describes how they would blow up their own unmanned aircraft and blame it on the Cubans.
They would switch out an actual airliner with a drone, basically.
That's right. Yeah. So it doesn't get more conspiracy, government against his own people to justify a war than this. So it's in the show notes, this document. It's the original document that was declassified in the 1980s, 90s maybe. I think it was a big mistake that they declassified it because it's so obvious that the government, that the highest military leaders conspired against their own people. But anyway, it's there. Take 5 minutes to read through it, and then I think you'll be convinced that it's genuine and it's serious. And this was 1960s. I would only imagine that it's gotten only worse since
before like half of you viewers were born even. So.
That's right. Yeah. By the way, conspiracy theory is a term that was invented by the CIA after the assassination of JFK. For anyone that didn't believe in the lone gunman theory.
Should we look into that lone gunman theory?
Well, let's forget about it now. But if this doesn't convince you that you should believe in conspiracy theories, then you're probably a sheep, and that's okay. We do need sheep.
We explained that in Cut the Crap 91, was it?
91, yeah. Why do we need sheep? We do need sheep. It's a natural way for
any race,
any at least human species to that a large percentage of the people are just blindly following the leader. That's maybe good.
At least in certain circumstances.
That's right. Yeah, and it's useful when you're out there to
life or death situations.
Life or death situations, exactly. Yeah. Out there on the hunt. So it's okay. if people are not willing to look at this or are in denial, again, we do need sheep. But and also like at some point the sheep will follow a new leader.
Yay!
And that's going to be a lion that's going to take a different direction, so to speak. So don't waste time on these sheep, basically. In terms of conspiracy theories, I don't believe the Earth is flat. Do you?
No.
No. How should I reply to someone who claims that the Earth is flat?
I would say. Or you know what? I would ask him why he thinks the Earth is flat.
Yeah. You can ask something, right?
Yeah, like let's say I'm FaceTiming someone other side of the world. Why? Okay, say it's like 9 p.m. my time and it's dark. I don't know, 11 a.m. their time and it's light.
Yeah.
Then how do you explain that?
Yeah. Ask them if he can explain it.
And if it's double-sided flat, then whatever,
Yeah. I mean, there's no need to tell that person like, oh, your conspiracy theories cannot be true. Ask him to explain it, and if he cannot convince you by explaining how it can be light and dark at the same time at different places on Earth, then he's just simply not to believe by me anyway. I guess I speak for you as well, but it doesn't mean that it has to be censored. If he doesn't make sense, people will ignore him. No problem. And now, how about the moon landing?
If it was fake, was it even fake?
Was it fake? You know what? I don't care. It could be fake. It could be real. The US really wanted to be there first. I just find it irrelevant.
To be honest, I think it's fake.
But really, I don't care. Like, if they faked it, so what? Don't know, don't care. I find it irrelevant for the how the world operates. That's the focus of this talk. Now, next subject. Who killed JFK? Lee Harvey Oswald?
Lone gunman. How many shots were there?
Yeah.
Like you got like 5 shots within 3 seconds within like a 4-point reload gun, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
it had to be reloaded.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Shoot.
Chick chick.
Yeah, no, chick. Take out. Put in. Chick. Yeah.
Well, semi-on.
Oh no. The bullets went automatically. There was like a slow process to reload.
Right.
Anyway, there's a movie on Netflix. It's probably not true.
Anyway, but the official story for years was it was the lone gunman, right? Lee Harvey Oswald. And do you believe that? Like even this year, 60 years later, the newly declassified documents are heavily redacted.
Wait, there are some this year.
This year there are some documents declassified, but a lot of pages were simply black.
Black lines matter.
That's right. So you got the Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, which was a complete failure. That's during JFK's presidency, and afterwards he was pretty pissed off.
Yeah, he quoted, "I want to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds."
Yeah. Then you get about a year later, you get the Northwoods meeting that we just talked about. The highest military leaders wanting a Cuban invasion in 1962, and JFK refused that. And then in 1963, JFK gets assassinated. But no, the CIA was not involved. No. This is. Do you detect something?
Yeah, a little something here and there.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, the official story now is that what they call a limited hangout. Maybe there was more than one lone gunman after all.
Maybe there was an entire association.
To make sure that you don't talk about what's the real issue, like how was the CIA involved? And what's the reason for having the CIA anyway? The reason that CIA and other intelligence operations exist is that they can carry out covert operations at home or abroad that are illegal for the government to officially carry out.
CIA is strictly abroad.
Um,
It's supposed to be that way.
yeah. Okay.
FBI is internal usually.
Right. Okay. And who runs the government? If the CIA kills the wrong president, seems like there's something higher up than the government as we know it. Call it deep state or call it the super rich families. Don't know. That's what's hard to find out. But
There's probably a cooperation between multiple people up there.
That's right. Yeah. Back to 9/11.
Okay.
I for a long time believed the official story until I saw footage of Building 7. Firstly,
link in the description. This sounds really funny.
Right. Do you remember the BBC presenter commenting on live TV that Building 7 had collapsed?
Yep. I saw a recording of it. Obviously not live. It wasn't live then. So BBC presenter, so it went from the office to her, and then back and forth for a few minutes. And she said at the start that Building 7 had collapsed, but back then there was like dust in the background, which slowly faded because the south building had just collapsed. And once it cleared
A couple
up,
hours earlier, but there was still a lot of dust.
yeah. But then once you could see it slightly cleared up, Building 7, like about, if this was a shoulder, it was like right here.
Yeah.
Nice and happy, standing up.
So on live TV, she announced that Building 7 had collapsed, and it actually, in the background, it shows on live TV that Building 7 was still there. So on
and it's live TV, like it's
live
literally
TV.
on a camera. It can't be pre-recorded in the background.
That's right. Live TV. And guess what happened? Half hour later, Building 7 collapsed. Yeah.
Supposedly from a fire, but it collapsed literally like this.
Whee. At basically free fall speed. So that's too many red flags. Now, for me anyway, if you look at the BBC documentary explaining their side of the story, debunking it, I would have expected the BBC presenter to explain where she had heard from that Building 7 had collapsed before it actually happened. But no, she's playing the emotional game like, oh, people threatening because I was part of a conspiracy.
You were part of this conspiracy, exactly.
Well, maybe unknowingly, but anyway, she got the information and she read it out. But like, it's another red flag. If you want to convince people, just state the facts. If you want people to believe that it was a genuine thing. Apparently,
she had something to hide.
Yeah, and I'm not saying she's part of the conspiracy, but it's clear to me that there was at least a script.
And there's always notes that the people have on the desk. You can see them when the camera zooms out at the end.
But I mean, like a script, like, okay, here, this is what you got to say. But
yeah, because it can literally be in front of her.
Yeah. And I'm not denying that airplanes flew into the Twin Towers.
Yeah,
but there was a script. And the airplane that went down in Pennsylvania, in Shanksville, did you see the crash site? Have a look at it. Like, if you see it for the first time without any further information, you see no airplane debris. Like,
you probably see
a bit of a hole.
Yeah, maybe it was a landmine, you think,
or a rocket or something. But anyway, it's no airplane debris visible. But what else was visible there?
Just some Islamic passports.
Really strong, those Islamic passports.
Like, they put it, I think, in a safe, and then wasn't it like locked in a vacuum or something, and then popped out at the back end just before it crashed.
Pure coincidence. Yeah. How many red flags do you need, eh?
3.
I need one maximum to myself. Anyway, try to Google who resigned from the 9/11 Commission. You'll see that.
If you do it on AI, it's quite funny.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave that to people themselves. But like, the 9/11 Commission was the commission that would investigate the cause of the 9/11 attacks. A guy called Max Cleland resigned from that commission because, and I quote, the White House played cover-up. But of course, we're not supposed to take that seriously. But do realize that most people cannot handle this. The idea that they have been fooled by their own government is too much to bear.
Serious?
Yeah, I mean, so don't spend too much time to convince people that cannot be convinced. Again, we need sheep. Got to go over the crap.
Part
91. Yeah. If you do understand this, if you're not a sheep, if you're lying, if you have the bullshit detector working and are capable of critical thinking, and you do your own research every now and then, it may be a bit depressing to realize that the government is not looking after you. But hey, does a farmer look after his animals? What do you think?
Yes. Wait. No. As long as they're profitable.
As long as they're profitable, right? If not profitable,
Sure, he might have some, love for like one of the old ones that he had for like 40 years by now, but like pretty much as long as they're profitable.
Yeah. If not profitable, the animals are going to go left turn or right. The government is no different with these people. On the one hand, a depressing thought. On the other hand, if you realize this, you'll have a head start. Critical thinking can get you anywhere. If you have a strong morals that you adhere to, and you'll gain a reputation with the people around you. You'll be reliable. You'll find other people that you can rely on if the shit hits the fan. And there's still a few out there, and there's a few lines. Don't worry, you won't be alone. So back to the brilliant mind at the pharmaceutical company. If you're giving in and hide the harmful side effects, shove them under the table, then from then on, you're one of them. From then on, at any point, they can come back to you and say like, hey, you knew it was dangerous and you didn't speak up. You can be found guilty. Anytime.
Like literally in the court as well.
That's right, literally, yeah. You can be found guilty